and you're asking like, what do we do about?
Is you sign a contract with someone.
So real quick, before you did that, did you?
More than 30 years. I got my real estate license in the
And your origin story.
Is that he made an age joke the last time we were. I'm gonna use that Kuka.
You know, I'm a little more strict with what I'm looking at.
All right. How's it going, Don? Nice to see you. And happy to have you on here. So tell me a little bit about yourself. I know you're a home inspector. So we talked when we first met together. So tell me a little bit about yourself, and then tell me about your plans and what you want to do.
Sure. First of all, I thank you very much for the time. It means a lot. For me, I spent 20 years as a handyman. Okay. I'm a licensed builder, and I've been doing home inspections for the past 8 years.
Okay.
I own my own business. I enjoy that. Mm-hmm. But honestly, it's a job. It's a job. It's like anything else. It's a job. I'm looking to get into wholesaling to build up the reserves, the cash flow, to start doing whatever I want. Otherwise, fix and flips, buy holds, whatever. I want to take that experience that I have and start using it for myself, my future.
Right.
That's my reason for reaching out to you. And I am going through the astro flipping course.
Okay, that's good.
Mind blowing. The information is just, my head's gonna explode. All the things I'm learning about it. My hope is that I can find somebody to take me under their wing a little bit, or provide that little extra to get to the point where I can get my first deal, get that proof of concept, and start grabbing a hold of it and doing something with it. That's why I reached out to you. I saw you on a video with Todd Chun, and I thought, man, this guy got it together, and he's the one I need to talk to. And that's why I reached out to you at the MREI meeting too. Yeah. Say, hey, I believe I have something to offer. I have some skill sets and knowledge and experience. I can be, somebody's boots on the ground. I can help come up with rehab costs or stuff like that. I'm very good having worked for the general public for 28 years. I'm very good with people. I can walk into a stranger's house, build rapport, come up with prices, and I have what it takes to do the wholesaling. I just need to get shoved out of the nest, so to speak.
Sure, that's no problem. So let's do this real quick. What do you know about wholesaling and how it works? I guess I'm starting off at the beginning, so I know what you know and what I need to inform you about.
Sure. And that's a great question. My understanding of wholesaling is you find a person, a homeowner, with a difficulty, a challenge, a frustration, a pain, death, divorce. We inherited Aunt Bertha's hoarder house, or 20 years of deferred maintenance, or job loss, or for whatever reason, people have difficulty in their lives that can be solved by selling their house. Right. So we find that person, meet them, go to the house, build rapport, find the pain point, find out their challenge, find out what makes them want to sell the house in the first place. Find out how we can help. Sometimes it's maybe money to move with, or whatever need they have. Ask, hey, how can I make a difference in your life?
Right.
And then we take that person, we find the right price for them, the right need. Sometimes it's price, sometimes it's just, I need help with this, and you're solving their problems. Come up with a fair offer on their house, get it under contract, and then find somebody else who, a flipper, a buy, hold, an investor, somebody else who wants that house to further their lives with also. And then where we are getting paid for solving problems, for bringing others that deal, that opportunity for them in their business and their lives. That's my understanding of what wholesaling is.
Okay. So that's really good. So the thing is that wholesaling is essentially, I'm just going to dumb it down real quick. Okay. Is we get a property under contract, and we're not selling the property. We're selling the rights to purchase the property. This is the only reason legally why we can do it and not have a realtor's license. Okay. So if you don't have it under contract and you're trying to sell it, essentially that's where you get into the legality of, okay, you're not an agent. Okay,
we become a principal. We become a principal in the transaction.
So that's in simple terms, okay? In more complicated, essentially, yes, you build rapport, you talk with the homeowner, but you have to have an idea of what you can sell it for in the beginning. One of the biggest problems that a lot of wholesalers get themselves in trouble with is they act themselves as they are the buyer, okay? And if they cannot perform, that is a very tough conversation to have. Okay? So the reason why I say that is because essentially, yes, you are acting as a buyer, but what I always try to do is I say me and my partners. Okay. Me and my partners are looking to purchase properties for all cash. It's these little words that, you know what, if you can blame your partners where they don't like it and they need a price reduction or whatever the case may be. I'm not trying to say lie to them, because don't. It's the truth. They are your partners. Okay. I also tell them that we have different strategies, and I go over this with them, and I say we either buy and hold, so we buy them, fix them up, and then rent them out. We do a fix and flip, or sometimes what we do is I work with other investors, and those become my financing partners, and we purchase it that way. Okay. But I said, no matter what happens, whatever we offer you is exactly what you're going to get, and you'll be dealing with me the whole time. And I tell them that.
Okay. All right.
That's very important. So, because they know that you're going to be there from beginning to end. Okay. And that they're going to get the price that they at least promised you until there's a situation that comes up, obviously.
All right. Like, what would that be? Like a lien or
title? Anything with title, a lien. We have to come either renegotiate or let them know what's going on, or try to get a hold of an ex-husband or whatever the case may be. Or if it has to go through probate, or say a huge water bill showed up and we have to reduce the price because of that, or we have to, that water bill is going to come out of their end and they have to okay it, Okay. So, and so that they're not surprised, you have to kind of explain things a little bit softer. Okay.
Right.
Be friendly. I mean, you're a people person, so that comes very easy for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does.
So so the biggest thing that you're going to have is, how do you plan on finding the deals?
That's what I'm working on now.
Okay.
I'm thinking of driving for dollars or.
All right. Hold on.
Okay. That's fine. I'm here. Oh, that's a great idea.
All right. So
I like it.
Sorry, I don't have all the technology where I'm putting up the board and all that.
Hey,
So
you're doing good.
all right, driving for dollars. All
Yes.
right. Put DD for driving for
All right.
dollars. All right.
Okay.
So, what's number 2?
Privy.
Okay. Privy. Okay. So, is this a list that
Yeah,
you're going to what? Are you going to cold call? Are you going to text blast? Are you going to which one?
I'm thinking of starting out with cold calling. So
Okay.
that way I'm not spending money on a text blast until I get a couple deals under my belt.
Okay. All right. So, privy list, we're going to cold call. Okay. So, all right. And what else?
Those are what I come up with at the moment. I know there are other ways to do it, and one of the things I wanted to accomplish by reaching out to you is finding out how are you doing it, how other people doing it.
Yep.
I know you can do like the court, when people die, their house goes to the probate. I know they can probate. There can be
probate list. So here's one thing that I always recommend to people. I ask people, what do you have access to? Okay. You being an inspector, okay, you might have access to certain lists that not everybody does. For instance, code violations, things like that, government. If you can get a hold of those are great. Okay. Privy is a great resource to use. Okay. And then to start cold calling, in my opinion, this right here is your leads. This is your way of marketing. Okay. And you can use both of these in conjunction. Okay. Driving for dollars to get a certain type of list, and then privy to pull pull another list to get more leads. Okay.
Like tracing and stuff like that.
Correct. So, you got to be able to skip trace your list and your driving for dollars list. Okay. So, if you get these lists, there's a bunch of different places out there to try. I don't know if Privy has a skip tracing feature inside Privy. They might. Okay.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Right. They might not. But lead Sherpa. Okay. So lead Sherpa.
I've not heard of that.
So that is a skip tracing tool. Okay.
All right.
So Lead Sherpa is a skip tracing tool that you can use. Okay. You can put any list that you want in there and they'll skip trace it for you. Okay.
Yeah, nice.
It does cost, obviously. All right.
Everything costs.
So,
there's not much that's free these days.
Exactly. So, so that is one part. Okay. That's how to get your list. Now, how are you going to cold call? Are you going to be using a dialer or are you going to be hand dialing? What do you plan on doing?
My plan is to start out hand dialing.
Okay.
And then eventually go to a dialer.
Okay. That's fine.
Do you have a dialer that you use or recommend?
I do. Okay, so cold calling. All right. Sorry for the sloppy handwriting. All right.
Better than
And
mine.
so the thing is with cold calling, all right, you either hand dial, okay? Okay. Or a dialer. Okay. Now, as far as being a hand dial, it depends. You want to use a separate number other than your number. So you get a Google Voice number or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
Okay. It's going to take you a long time to go through leads. I'm going to let you know that right up front. Okay.
Okay.
So usually when I recommend for people to get a dialer, the reason why is because you get through the leads faster. Okay. You get through the voicemails, the no answers, things like that. So there are a few out there. There's Mojo Dialer.
Okay.
Okay. All right. There is Smart Dialer. All right. So those are the ones that are out there. And then there's one that I use, which is Call Tools.
Call tool.
Yep, Call Tools. All right. I use that because it also it can act as a CRM as well as a dialer.
Nice. Okay.
So, but I have my workflow where I use a Podio account as a CRM as well. So I put my entire list in Call Tools, and then anybody who says yes, or yes, they're interested, then those leads get pushed over to my Podio account, and that's what I follow up on.
Okay.
Okay. So think about your workflow. Again, this is not something you have to do right now.
Okay.
Just starting out, you can hand dial. Just starting out, you can do Mojo Dialer. You can do any one of these starting out.
Okay.
Any one of them. Okay. Mojo Dialer, Smart Call Tools, Smart Dialer, they're all good. Okay. It really just depends on what you feel comfortable with. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just going to be honest with you. I've used Smart Dialer before. I know Mojo Dialer works. It's very popular. But I haven't used it. It was the same thing as Smart Dialer. And I currently use Call Tools. Okay.
I like that.
So
the Call Tool has a CRM, which is nice too.
it does. Now, Mojo Dialer might have that as well. So again, I'm going to implore you to do your research on that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So because I haven't used that, and with Smart Dialer, I used it in conjunction with a Podio account where my Podio was my CRM. So, again, figure out what works for you and for your system. My recommendation is start hand dialing first. Make your mistakes. Okay. Then use a whiteboard like this and draw out the flow. What I mean by that is how you make the call, when somebody says yes, okay, where does it go? When somebody says no, where does it go? And when they say yes, now it goes somewhere. And then how often do you follow up and create the systems for that?
Okay.
So how are you going from putting your list in or getting your list, skip tracing, so on and so forth? I know I'm going through a lot, especially for a beginner, but I'm trying to pack as much into right now as possible.
It's very helpful. Everything you're saying is helpful.
Awesome. So with that being said, like for instance, I use call tools. I'm not pushing you or anybody else to use that. My recommendation is start hand dialing, start off with a driving for dollars list and start hand dialing.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Those will be the best lists that you'll get. You'll also have the least amount. So hand dialing will be good for you.
Okay. And with a separate number,
with a separate number, whether it be Google Voice or something else. Okay.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. Because
Okay.
I would do it over like a voice over IP. Okay. Like Google Voice, you can log into a Google Voice on your computer. And now from your Excel spreadsheet, you can copy and paste the number.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Alright.
that's still hand dialing because you're going one number at a time. Okay.
Right.
But now you're doing everything over the computer. You put a headset on like this. Okay.
Okay.
So, or your iPad, your iPods, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're talking over the phone that way.
Okay. On the computer.
On a computer. Yeah.
I never heard of that.
Just like we're doing right now.
Love it.
And what I usually do is I have a stand-up desk. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a stand-up desk, and what I do is I don't sit down. I stand up. I walk around. I pace around. I do whatever I can, and I keep active. What that does is that keeps. If I'm down slouched like this and I'm just sitting in a chair, you hear it in my voice, don't you?
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah.
If I'm up like this, just walking around, hey, how's it going? Yeah, great day today. All right.
Yeah. Yes. And people will pick up on that.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
All right. So, but the thing is this. One thing I recommend you do. Okay. So you got this, right?
Yes, entirely. Yes,
Okay.
I have that. I've written down.
Got it. All right. Step 1 is getting information. Okay. When you're on a call, somebody says yes or whatever. All right. Do you have a script that you follow? So you're in the program, the Astro Flipping program, right?
And they have one. Yes, correct.
Yes. So they have a script. Okay.
And TTP has one too.
Yes. 100% decided. I would recommend you follow the TTP script. Okay.
All right.
So 100%. I also use Steve Trainer's script as well. All right. Now, eventually you're going to change the script to meet how you talk and what you do. All right. So keep that in mind because I don't want you talking like a robot.
I like to stand up desk. I'm very good on my feet talking. Yes.
Yep. So first thing is getting information about the property. Okay. All right. Getting info. So getting info is about the property as well as about the homeowner. Why do they want to sell? Do they really want to sell? Figure out their timeline, figure out everything that they need. All right.
Okay.
And the thing is that what you want to do, and nobody's talking about this. I'll tell you this right now.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to disqualify them. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Okay. What does that mean? You want to go through every aspect and disqualify them, give them every reason not to go with you. What I mean by that is I'm not saying push them away and do all that, but you also don't want to be the one pushing them towards you either.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll give you an example. Okay. There's a house that only needs cosmetic work. Oh, hey, Mr. Seller, I see just based on what you said, obviously you got the info, so you got the price. They might be priced a little bit too high. Okay. So is there any reason why, you know, you might not want to put this on the MLS or put this with go with an agent and try to sell it that way? You know, ask them those questions. Okay. Well, I don't want people walking through my property and blah, 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 this, that. And you be upfront with them. Hey, I might not be your highest offer because, you know, like I'm not an end buyer. What I mean by say, I'm not a retail buyer. I'm an investor. Obviously, we got to make money. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
When you tell them that you're an investor, they obviously know you're going to have to make money. Okay. So by saying all of this, you can judge where they're at, and you know you're prompting them for your, I don't want to call it a lowball offer, but your realistic offer. Okay. Call it a realistic offer, because the thing is that, you know, and if we're too far apart, I even sometimes say, I really don't want to insult you with my offer. It's far away from what you did. I mean, if you really want me to tell you, I'll tell you, but we are kind of far apart. And a lot of times, well, just tell me what it is. Tell me what it is.
Okay.
And so I tell them and be like, yeah, I know I didn't want to really insult you like that, but I'd have to be, you know, and I'm 50 grand or 20 grand underneath what they wanted, whatever the case may be. Okay. And I go, and I'm going based off of what you said. I'm going, and then but before I even give the offer, I also try to bring up, this is what I'm seeing of prong comps in the neighborhood. You know what? You know, it looks like the price you're asking, you know, that's a pretty fair price. Unfortunately, it's pretty fair for a retail price. Okay.
Okay.
You know, and
yeah.
So all these things you're bringing up, you're prompting them. Okay. You're prompting them. I'm not saying that you have to do that with everyone, because some people some people have realistic numbers. Okay. So you got to really play it by ear. And that's one thing you got to understand is that by disqualifying them, okay, you don't want to spend too much time on them.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Now, what you can do is, I'm not saying get rid of that lead. Okay. What I'm saying is say, hey, you know, I see you're here. Do you mind if I follow back up with you? When are you looking to find out their timeline? Okay. And whatever their timeline is, cut it in half and then follow back up with them.
Okay.
Okay. For instance, if their timeline is 4 weeks, oh yeah, you know what? I already sold that property. We're under contract and blah, blah. Oh, you're under contract? Oh, did you guys already close yet? No, we're scheduled to close in about 4 weeks. Okay, great. You know what? How about I follow up with you? Follow up with them in about 2 weeks.
Okay. All right.
Hey, I noticed that last time we talked, this is where a good CRM comes in, where you're putting in notes. Okay. So you're putting in notes when you're calling them. Now, you don't need a CRM to do that. You can do that in Excel.
Okay.
Okay. You can use Excel by all means.
Okay.
In the beginning. All right. But you come up, hey, last time we talked, you're set to close on the property. I'm just curious if you're still on track, or you know, is that buyer still buying the property? You know, oh yeah, we're still closed. You know, we're still on schedule. Or no, we got a hiccup and we had to drop out and blah blah blah, this that.
Okay.
And now you can jump in
And
because you think that you think what's that?
It does happen to you?
Oh yeah.
Oh great. Okay, good.
Yeah, that does happen, because the thing is that, think of it this way. If somebody comes through and they buy it at a higher number, or they get under contract for too high of a number, and then they can't find a buyer because, say, it's another wholesaler, okay, it's going to drop out of contract, right? They're not going to do anything.
Right.
Now you come in here and they got a distaste in their mouth and they're like, I just want to get rid of it. you know,
Okay.
give me X amount and it's yours.
Okay.
And you're like, you know what? In order for me to make it work, these are my numbers. This is, you know, kind of, you know, I didn't get a chance to give you the offer last time because you said you already had it sold, you know.
Okay.
But, you know, so on and so forth, and run your numbers. All right. Don't ever try to stretch the number. As soon as you try to stretch the numbers, okay, you always lose. All right.
Mm-hmm. The number. Okay.
You always lose when you try to stretch the numbers.
Okay.
Do you know what that means? What I mean by
Yeah,
stretch
like
the numbers?
if the ARV is 250 and it needs 30 grand with a pair, that's down to 220. You need to back out your assignment fee. You have to back out profit for the flipper. If you offer too much and you stretch it and you try so hard because you want the deal,
Yep.
then your numbers aren't going to be right and no one's going to buy it. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct.
Okay.
And so another thing I would do side by side with you doing this is talking with buyers and seeing where they're buying, what is their criteria, and how they're buying. Okay. What I mean by that,
location, right? Like,
what is their buy box? Now, are they buying with cash? Are they buying with hard money? Are they buying with, what areas are they buying in? Now, those are whatever areas they tell you, you can go driving for dollars in those areas.
Okay. All right. Yes. Okay.
So now you got a built-in buyer, right?
Okay.
Because this guy said he's going to buy. He wants to buy in that area.
Okay.
All right. Now you follow his numbers. They try to call it reverse wholesaling. It's not reverse wholesaling. It's just wholesaling.
I have heard
doing it
that
smart.
term. Okay.
Yeah, it's just wholesaling smart. That's all. All right.
Okay.
Now, when you do get a deal under contract, all right, or even before you get a deal, you can always come to somebody you know and trust, another wholesaler, and ask them their opinion. Like, for instance, you can always come to me and say, hey, I want a JV with you.
Yeah.
Does this make sense? Does this work?
Okay.
Okay. For me, I don't ever go behind anybody's back. If they decide they want a JV with me on a deal, whether they got it under contract, they don't. Doesn't matter. Okay. I'm never going to go behind your back and get a deal.
Have you had people do that to you?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
There's so many people that's afraid. Once you get it under contract, though, okay, don't be the guy out there afraid to put the address in your marketing. All right. Your buyers have to do their due diligence. I see so many Facebook posts where they give you the cross streets or they give you the street that it's on and the zip code and everything, but they don't want to give you the address because they're afraid somebody's going to snake the deal. Well, if you have it under contract, they're not going to snake the deal.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That makes sense. Okay. I understand.
So keep that in mind. But when you say, I'll give you an example. If you work with me as a JV partner, I take care of all the marketing, but I walk you through everything. Okay.
Wow.
So I'll walk you through the contracts. I'll walk you through everything, and kind of go from there. All right.
That's a big help.
Yep.
I can talk to people. I understand houses. It's just the contract and meshing everything together. That's my challenge.
Yep. No problem. Keep in mind, you got to get the PA signed, the purchase agreement signed. Okay.
Now, what do you use?
There's so many.
Do you use the app for, or what do you use for a contract?
I have my own contract.
Okay.
So, actually, I picked up a contract. So, Todd Chun, how I got started. You said that you saw me with Todd Chun on here.
Yeah.
He was technically like my first mentor, I guess you can call him, because I did my first like 3 deals I JV'd with him.
Nice. Okay.
And then I went on my own. I JV'd with him on a few other deals as well. ever since too.
Okay.
So, and that's exactly what he did with me. And that's the reason why I do it with others.
Nice.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah. So what, I find the house and get it under contract? I mean, so how
Yep.
what point
So-
am I to you, or did we, what point do we
And that's up to you. That's up to you. Okay. If you, when you get it, I prefer to be involved just after you get it under contract. I don't want to be involved after you've marketed it for a month and then try to sell it. Then can't sell it.
Okay.
So I want to be involved in the beginning. Okay. Now, if you want me involved before you get it under contract, that's perfectly fine too. Okay. Because the reason why I say that is some people have trust issues where they don't want that involved because they're afraid, like I said, that somebody's going to snake the deal. I'm not that person. I'm never going to be that person.
I don't get that impression from you.
Right. I appreciate that. So with that being said, and you know, if we do post this on my YouTube channel, and everybody out there, they should know that. So that other people, there is a worry that other people have. Okay. So, and rightfully so. That is rightfully so. I've had buyers try to snake deals from me, but it's funny because I built the relationship with the seller enough where the seller will come to me and say, hey, the guy that you just walked through over here, you know, he just tried to give me an offer and say you're doing this and blah, 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 this and that. And because I have a good rapport with the seller and the seller knows what I'm doing, they're like, yeah, I'm still only dealing with you. I don't even want you selling it to him. And I don't.
Okay.
So that's where building rapport really and being honest, okay, comes in handy.
I've been looking into this for about a month, maybe no more than that, about maybe 3-4 months, and the word ethics, honesty, relationship keep constantly in the forefront. Everything I'm listening to, podcasts, so everybody keeps going back to relationship, ethics, honesty, reputation. A lot of that I'm hearing from.
100%. So go back to, you're going to get the info. You're going to try to disqualify them. If they still qualify after that, then you're going to go to the next step. Okay. And when you're going to come to an agreement. Okay. You're going to come to an agreement and you're going to get the contract signed. Okay. So the agreement is the PA, the purchase agreement. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to get that signed, and a lot of times what happens is you got to walk the seller through that. Okay. You got to walk the seller through that process. What I mean by that is, you know, you usually do an e-signature. Okay.
Right.
So I get on the phone and I say, hey, please let me know when you're going to be in front of your computer. Okay. Can you be in front of your computer in 10 minutes? I'll write up the contract and I'll send it right over, and we can go over it over the phone. I can go over everything with you.
DocuSign, or what do you use?
Yep. You can use DocuSign. There's a bunch of different companies out there, but you can use DocuSign as one of them.
Okay.
Okay. And that way, if they have any questions, they have you on the phone right there, then and there. Okay. They're not going through it and saying, oh, I got to get this to my lawyer to have him look over. That's a stall tactic.
Okay.
That sellers use. Okay.
Okay.
That means they're never going to give it to their lawyer. Okay.
Right. No. Right.
Or I gotta talk to my agent and see if he's. Oh, so there's an agent involved. Going back to disqualifying.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Or I gotta go. I gotta talk to my wife. Okay. By going through this disqualifying, you also need to ask, who's all the decision makers? Is it you and your wife? If so, let's get both of you on the phone and talk about it. Okay. You want to go over the purchase agreement with both of them. If they both have to sign, you go over it with both of them.
Okay.
Or a better yet is have a paper copy and have it there in person.
Okay.
Everyone's different on you're going to get all types of sellers. Okay. I've had sellers that want to only do it in person. That's it.
Older people.
And then, older people. All right. Then you get investors where they're from out of state. They have to do DocuSign. Okay. But they already know the drill. They're like,
yeah, I got the t-shirt. Let's go.
Yep.
Okay.
So from here, you go into the agreement. This is all for the seller. Okay. You're going to find a buyer. Okay. Show the property, how I bring that up to the sellers is, hey, how do I get through the property? I'm going to need to bring some contractors through, my investment partners, things like that.
Okay.
Hopefully it's only one or two here and there, but if I need to get multiple quotes, I need to bring multiple people,
Okay.
And they understand that usually.
Okay.
Where it comes in hard, where it really comes in it being tricky is when there's a tenant involved.
Yeah. Okay. Because they're not typically going to be cooperative. Because
they'll be cooperative. No, they'll be cooperative. It's because you're probably going to inherit the tenant, to be honest.
Okay.
All right. But sometimes the seller doesn't want the tenant knowing what's going on. Okay. So you may have to pose as an inspector.
Which I can do. See?
Right. Yep.
I can do that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, the homeowner knows what's going on, but the renter, you're going to pose as an inspector. We're just inspecting property, just seeing what all needs to be done. We may need to come back with another contractor just to get some quotes and stuff like that. If there's anything, so you're preparing them just in case. And then you got to work with their schedule. You need to give them a 24-hour notice. Okay, this, so on and so forth. The easy ones is when it's vacant and it's on a lockbox.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Those are the easy ones.
Okay.
All right. But either way, whatever you do, you're always going to run into problems or hurdles. Okay. I don't really like call them problems. I call them hurdles.
Okay.
Okay. So there's always a way around the hurdle. Okay. No matter what, there's always a way around, and you're there to find a solution.
Okay. I can do that. I can do all. I can
exactly. So once you go through this whole process and you find the buyer, okay, then you're going to assign it. Hold on. Assign the PA. Okay. It's an assignment of contract. Okay. My handwriting is horrible, so I apologize for that. All right. So
it's better than mine.
So you're going to assign the contract. All right. And assign the PA, the purchase agreement. Okay. And what you're going to do after you do all that, you're going to send to title. Okay. Now you may start title at this process, after you get the PA signed, okay, you may start the title after that. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it happens so fast that it doesn't really matter. Okay, but you don't want to wait too long to get title started. All right.
Okay.
So you're gonna send it to title. Okay. And there you go. Send the title. Okay. And then you're gonna work with the title company. Okay. To see what's needed next from them. Okay. Now, throughout this whole process, after you get the PA signed, okay, this is typically what they do for communication, what other wholesalers do for communication. They drop the seller and they concentrate on trying to find the buyer. And that's fully all and well, but you always want to keep the seller updated no matter what. Okay. Hey, we're still going through the process, just keeping you updated on what's going on, letting you know I'm here, and let me know if you have any questions about the process.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep them in the loop.
Keep them in the loop, because this is what's going to happen. All right. Now, God forbid this does happen, where you get because you started advertising it, you may get buyers trying to go behind your back and going straight to the homeowner, like I told you did before. Okay. But now with you keeping open communication with the seller, they have no reason to doubt you. No reason whatsoever.
Okay.
All right. No, I already got it sold. Click. Or if they're not trying to go, if there's not somebody else trying to go around you, guess what? There's other people, other wholesalers like yourself, got their number just the way you did and trying to call them and trying to buy it. So what you want is for them, the sellers, to say, no, we already got it sold. We're closing in 2 weeks. Click. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That makes sense.
Because if they have any doubt, they're going to start listening to other offers.
And especially if you ignore them.
Exactly. Especially if you ignore them. Okay.
Okay.
So keep that in mind, that keep open communication with them. Let them know where you're at in the process. Let them know what's going on, so on and so forth. Hey, we're still going through title. Title's still working on it. So, hey, you have any questions up until this point? Are you good? Things like that. All
right. All right.
And then just answer any questions that they do have, so things like that.
Okay.
All right.
That makes sense.
Now, same thing with the buyer. Okay. Keep the buyers updated. Buyers, because they're investors, they're a little bit more used to everything, but they want to close quickly. All right. If you don't keep open communication with them and say it's a longer closing because of a probate issue, because of this, that, you got to keep open communication with the buyer, because maybe because it's been so long, they're using the funds somewhere else that they were going to spend on your deal.
Okay.
So you got to keep that communication open and keep on going. All right.
Yes. Okay. That makes total sense. Everything you're saying makes total sense to me.
I appreciate that. So, now the last thing is when it comes to the closing documents, okay, you're going to have 2 sets. If it's a good title company, a wholesaling friendly title company, all right, they're going to have 2 sets of documents. Okay. They're going to have, here, let me write that down. You're going to have seller documents, and then you're going to have buyer documents. Okay, so you're going to have seller documents and you're going to have buyer documents. Okay. And again, sorry for the software writing, but it's all good. So seller documents, what is it going to have? Seller documents is going to have the basic, the taxes, any liens, okay? If the seller is paying closing costs, okay, then they'll have closing costs. Okay. But if the seller's not paying closing costs, if it's only on the buyer, then they won't have that, or they'll have a credit. Okay. So then, what else is there? Yeah. So liens include taxes, water bill, water, blight tickets. Those blight tickets are tickets from the city for like too long of a grass, dumping or anything like that.
Okay.
All right. So on the buyer side, what you're going to have is you're going to have the same thing. Okay. Everything from seller. Okay. You're gonna have everything from the seller, all right? But you're also going to have wholesale fee. Okay, and closing costs. So closing costs will come in if the seller is paying, if the buyer is paying all closing costs. Okay. You'll have closing costs either way. It's just whether the buyer's paying only half of it or the buyer's paying the buyers and the sellers.
What's typical? Okay. What is typical?
Every price point is different, and every price point is different, and every property is different. As far as like title company is different as well. Okay. So I'll give you an example on a $25,000 property. We did one where the entire closing cost was about $1,200. Okay.
Yeah.
That's for both sides.
Yeah. Okay. You can eat that. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So, but the more the property costs, the higher the closing costs are.
Okay, so what does it get to be at like 150, 200? You're talking 2,500, $3,000?
Yeah. Yep. About $2,000 to 2,500.
Okay.
If it's a cash deal, it's a lot cheaper than it is if it's a mortgage. Okay.
Okay.
So that's another thing is if there's a loan on the property or a lien or there's something like that, that's added costs. Okay. So this is the most important thing here, your wholesale fee. Because guess what? That's how you get paid.
What's an average fee? 10 grand?
Every house is different. Every house is different.
Okay.
I do an average about $5,000 per house. Okay.
Okay.
But if I go out in the suburbs, it might be a little bit more. I go in Detroit, it's going to be a little bit less. Again, you never know. Every property is different. Okay. I don't want you limiting yourself to just one price.
Okay.
All right. So I put an average. I try to shoot for 10 grand. That way, if I JV it, I'm at least getting 5. Okay.
But
if I can push it for a little bit more, I will.
Okay. What's the most?
It just depends.
What's your highest?
The highest is 21.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah. The highest is 21. Now I still had to split that with my partner when I was working with at the time. But yeah. So
still that's not bad.
I mean, no, it's not a bad deal. Right. So again, your wholesale fee, the reason why it's on a buyer's document, you don't want the seller seeing that. Okay? You don't want the seller seeing what you're making.
Okay.
Okay. Now, again, it comes down to being honest, where if they accidentally see it, that's okay. But, you know, it's a hard conversation to have, especially at the closing table.
Yeah.
All right. And here's another thing. You don't have to go to the closing table.
Oh.
I've never been to a closing table.
Well, they just send you the title company sends you a check?
Yeah. They either send you the check or you can ask for a wire.
Okay.
Yep.
That's great. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying it's not, you're not dealing with any issues. I've had a seller literally walk away from the closing table, and I had to talk him off the edge, and he turned around and went back and signed the papers.
Okay.
Because of the statement that was there. I learn from every single deal. If I came across an issue in this, then I learn from that, and the next deals, I'm making sure I'm bringing those things up in the beginning before they're even an issue.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we got all that. We're coming up to the end. I just want to know, like, essentially, I just went through a whole deal with you from beginning to close. What questions do you have?
Do you have a wholesale friendly title company?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So for our areas, there are quite a few. Okay. For this area, and I have no problem sharing those with you. All right.
Okay.
You know, so just you can reach out to me separately.
Fine.
I have no problem. I don't really worry about that until you get the deal under contract.
Right.
Okay.
Because there's a lot to do before that. Okay.
Correct.
All right. So in essence, then I'm gonna get the business finding houses, getting the contract, and then I'll reach out to you for the rest of the dispo and the rest of the
and learn how to comp. Learn how to comp. Okay.
I am working on that. Yes, I am.
So one thing I'll give you homework. Go on the MLS, and I'm not saying do MLS deals by any means. I'm not saying that, but go on the MLS. All right. And start comping those deals for an investor. All right. It's practice. The more you use that muscle, the better you become at it.
Okay. Right. Okay.
All right. So go on there. You can comp them through doing a freeway by Zillow, Redfin, all of that. All right.
Okay.
So, and go that route.
How close is the Zestimate usually? So
in the past, it hasn't been close. It's starting to get closer now, but the thing is that I would still run your own comps. Don't worry about the Zestimate at the moment.
Okay. All right. Now here's a question though. What? How do you get past the Zestimate if the seller says, "Hey, the Zestimate is 200 and you're offering them 150. How do you get past that?"
Sure. You say, "Yeah, that's no problem. That's 200 if it was fully redone and fully top-notch HGT quality, so on and so forth." Is that your property?
Okay.
If they say yes, then say, "Great, that's awesome. I'm not your buyer." Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I recommend, you know what? If that's the way you want to go, guess what? I know a lot of great, trustworthy realtors that I can put you in connect with. Okay. And would you like me to do that? You flip it on.
Okay. Have you ever thought about getting your own real estate license?
Yeah, I thought about it.
Pro or a con or?
It's a pro. It definitely can be a pro. The problem, the thing is this: you need to concentrate on one thing at a time. Okay. Now, once you get the wholesaling done, once you do all that, then you can, go on to do other things as well. All right. Concentrate on one thing at a time at the moment. All right. Like for instance,
Okay.
the cold calling. Only do cold calling
All right.
at the moment. Don't get into text blasts. Don't get into doing
Okay.
this. Start off with one thing. Once you've mastered that, okay, or you used all of it that you want, then go on to another
Okay.
and test out another thing. All right.
Okay.
So
okay.
again, keep that in mind. Okay.
All right. That makes sense. Okay.
Because
All
if
right.
you start doing 5 different things, SEO, this, that, you're going to be spending a lot of money and you're not going to be getting a lot of results because you're not putting the enough time and amount of effort in each one that it deserves.
That I completely understand that now. Yes, that makes sense. This has been a big help. This has been great information and big help, and it gives me confidence knowing that there's someone local that I can reach out. Say, hey, Randy, I got this. What do I do? Or I'm ready to JV or whatever. It helps to have that immensely, because this whole time I've been learning and educating myself and getting ready. I think, man, what happens if someone says yes? Then what do I do then? So having you to like, okay, I know Randy has the answers. We can see then it helped me get that first deal, because then I can start going to town from that first deal.
Right. Now, you said you're doing the astral flipping. Do they have contracts for you?
I have to look, because I'm like halfway through the program.
Okay.
I'm sure they do, but I'll look into that, because they blew my mind with all the information they have. I mean, I got this baby here. I mean, there's all kinds of, look how big that thing
Most
is.
definitely, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a lot of information. There's a lot of work with astral flipping. There's a lot of working with on-market stuff as well, or dealing with a lot of agents. Yeah. So I primarily do my business models off-market, doing the driving for dollar, calling, or pulling lists, so on and so forth. Okay.
I listened to the podcast. I listened to the TTP, to the subject, to the sub 2, all that.
Yep. So
and the TTP people are really big on that.
Yeah. So what I recommend again is this. I know we're coming up on the time here, but I really want to leave you in a good place. Okay. Is remember what I said. Concentrate on one thing and go for it. All right. So if you're going to go after on market, okay, go after on market. But if you're going to do the off market stuff, that's perfectly fine too. All right. Okay. All right. What I'm saying is concentrate on one niche on what you're doing and go from there. You can do the driving for dollars and do the off market, and then once you stop doing that, now if you want to pivot to contacting agents, great. Okay. So but you got to dedicate time to each one. Don't just willy-nilly go over it. Like, okay, I'm going to spend 2 to 3 hours cold calling off market. Now I'm going to spend an hour, 2 hours on I'm going to cold call agents. Okay. Okay. You're still cold calling.
Week? What is your average week that you dedicate to this business?
Okay, so I treat it like a full-time business. Okay. I'm constantly doing things. Now, I'm at a place right now where I have a system set up where I have a virtual assistant cold calls for me. Oh. Okay. And then they send me the leads that basically anybody who says yes, that I want to sell, whether it's good or bad, if they say yes, they'll send it. Okay. She'll send me all the information, whether it's qualified or not. And then I follow up with them within 24 hours. Okay. Okay. That's my process. You have to develop your own process. Okay.
I like what you're saying, though. I mean, I like the VA thing.
Yeah, but the reason why I don't recommend people start off with that is because your VA is only as good as you train them. So you have to do it first, okay, before, and that way you know how to train them.
That makes okay. I can see that, and I like the way you said one thing at a time. Do some baby steps.
Yep.
Get that figured out, and just keep building from that first
Right.
baby step. And I think my first baby step, and we talked about it, and it makes total sense, is direct to seller, driving for dollars, cold calling. Now, my understanding that there's a bigger spread from direct to seller than there is for agent outreach.
There usually is.
Okay.
Yeah, there usually is, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's all subject to every deal. It has its own quirks. Okay. I'm going to just be honest.
Okay.
It's not a, if I go direct to seller versus I go to just agent outreach and I'm going to get a different type of spread. Every deal has its own quirks and it has its own spread. Okay. If you can make it work, make it work. If you can't, you can't. Okay. Now, in every deal that I do, I also try to bring in my knowledge of creative financing, other alternatives. If we can't come to terms on price, okay, for a cash offer, okay, I try to figure out other solutions for them to help them out. Okay. Now, sometimes that solution does not go with me. And what do I mean by that?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes it's better for them to put it on the market, okay, to get the price that they want. And if they do that, where are they going to get the agent's name from?
You.
Yep.
And then that
now
agent's
and they'll give me a marketing fee.
Okay.
If they sell it.
Okay.
Okay.
What's what?
Now, it's not going to be much. It's not going to be much by any means.
Okay.
But even if it's nothing, now you've built a relationship with that agent at the very least,
which is valuable.
Right.
It's probably worth more than the $1,500 you would get from the marketing fee.
Exactly. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. Now, that's where having your license is helpful, even if you don't list it for them. When you give it, if you have your license and you give it to another agent, they can now legally split the commission with you.
Oh.
Or give you it might be a third or whatever the broker tells you.
Okay. Fine.
Whatever the broker allows,
Okay.
But it's a fee, a finder's fee or something like that. All right.
I like that. Okay.
All right.
That's a great alternative. I mean, it's better than nothing. Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever you can do is still better than nothing. And then you're also still building a relationship. That makes complete sense to me.
So one thing, I'm going to leave you with this. Okay. All right. I like visuals. Okay. I like visuals a lot. You heard about cold calling. Okay. Cold calling, texting, agent outreach. All right. You heard about well, that's kind of up here, driving for dollars.
Okay.
Creative finance.
Yeah.
Okay. You've heard about let's see, fix and flip.
Okay. Right.
All right. You do not. This is what you don't want to do. Here.
Okay.
You don't want to do that. All right. So what you want to do, all right, here is deal. All right. That's your deal. You want to go here. Now, once you get this figured out and you know this, then here, then here, then here, then here. Not in that particular order, Okay.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Again, I'm not saying in this order. I'm
Right,
saying
right.
you choose, but you do one at a time.
Okay.
All right.
That makes sense. Yes. Okay.
Versus,
All right.
oh, I couldn't find a deal here, so I'm going to do this. I couldn't find a deal here, so I'm going to do this. I couldn't find a deal here, so I'm going to do this. Does that make sense?
100%.
So,
Yeah, get good at one thing before you do anything else.
exactly. All right.
Yeah.
So try to figure out, obviously we've already determined that cold calling, driving for dollars, start off with those so you can hand dial. Then when you go to a bigger list, then move to a dialer.
Okay.
Okay. But
Okay.
if you're doing a driving for dollars list, okay, you should be able to pick up at least one deal. Because now
Right.
you know that those properties are distressed.
Yeah.
If you don't, then guess what? Your way of picking them needs to change.
Okay.
All right. Too
Okay.
long of a grass, whatever the case may be, you need to make sure you're picking them right.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Totally.
So now
100%.
there's an app out there. I don't know what apps you want to use. You can use an app for a driving for dollars list. Okay. So it's called Deal Machine. Okay.
Okay.
That is a good driving for dollars list or a driving for dollars app where
Okay.
as you go, it uses your geolocation and you just click on the property and it adds it to your list versus just writing down the address.
So you're sitting there in front of the house. You just boom, hit the app, and then it puts it in
Yep.
your system.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
And if you're doing mailers or postcards, you can automatically send it right through the app too. Okay. But don't worry about that right now. All right. That's for a
Okay.
later conversation.
Fine.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
So
Wow.
you could even skip trace it right then and there and call them while you're in front of the house if it was a hot lead.
Through Deal Machine?
Yep. Through Deal Machine. They
Wow.
offer
You know
that
how much
service.
it is?
Yes. So it's a subscription
How much is it a
service.
month?
I don't know because I don't own it. So do your due diligence. They have different types of plans, different tier plans as
Okay.
well. Okay.
Okay.
Because I know people who have 5 different accounts for Deal Machine, so they pay, an amount because they have 5 different people that go out there and they'll use it. Okay. So
Okay, that makes sense.
it'll import it into a list. So
Okay. And now does Deal Machine have a CRM? Do you know? Because I wonder if they have if you can do everything in Deal Machine.
no, I wouldn't do it as a CRM. I wouldn't use it as a CRM. I don't think they really have it as a CRM. It's only for collecting the data. That's it.
Okay.
Deal Machine is just mainly for collecting the data. Okay.
Okay.
Now you can send out the marketing. As far as the mailers, it offers that service, but as far as getting the phone number, then you call from another phone and call them that way. All right.
Okay. I understand. Now, how does the Google Voice goes through your computer? Okay.
And there's an app for your phone. There's an app for your phone for it too.
For Google
Voice.
I need to look into that then. Okay. So then
The number you
I have
called.
a phone-
Listen, hold on. The number you called me on, the number
Yeah.
you have, and you text me. That's my Google Voice
Yeah.
number.
the 586-307 number.
307-4765. I don't mind giving
Okay.
that out because it's right here at the bottom.
Right.
That's my Google Voice number. That I have an app on my phone and it goes straight to my cell phone. It gets forwarded to my cell phone.
So do I need to buy a new phone, or I can use my
No.
existing?
No, you use
Oh.
it's an app. It's an app.
Okay, so I can do Google Voice through my existing phone.
So right here, it's an app on my phone. It's hard to see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So I've had some messages here while we've been here, but yeah, so that is where that's where you want to be. All right.
Yeah. Thank you for your time. This has been
No problem.
immensely helpful.
Yep.
Very much so.
So this is the thing is right now, I'm working on my website. It's called randystedwell.com. Okay. It's for the podcast, but I will eventually have digital downloads. Okay. There's a couple things that I'm going to be selling: a purchase and sale agreement, a assignment of contract. Okay. And also I'm working on it at the moment. It's called an Excel spreadsheet for a deal analyzer. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So now you can put in the address, the numbers, put in your own comps, and it'll tell you whether it's a deal or no deal.
Okay.
Based on the criteria that you put in there. Okay. Bless you.
Thank you.
So it'll also tell you there will be a section for fix and flip. There will also be a section for buy and hold. And I'm also kind of working on a creative as well.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yes. So we will, once we get it launched, the digital downloads, once we get those launched, then those will be available on the website. Okay. Now the purchase agreement, if you need a contract to do that, I have no problem working with you. If we JV, I have no problem working with you and giving you my contract. All right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So,
we'll be doing something we'll be doing together. So,
right.
I will find a house. And the first house I find, I'm calling you. We'll go do it together then.
Got it. All right. So, with that being said, I appreciate, you coming on here. Let me record it. Normally, like I said, we do charge for this. This is, if I did charge you for this, is this valuable, what we just shared today?
Oh, yeah. For certain.
All right. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a value in every minute we spent here.
I appreciate that. So, with that, thank you for letting me record this, and we're going to have this on I'm going to put this on YouTube, and we're going to split it up in different sections so it's not 1 hour and 20-minute long video. So,
okay.
All right.
Yeah, do whatever you want with it. It's yours. You help me. You can have whatever you want.
I appreciate that. So, with that being said, I appreciate you. I'm going to end the recording here now, but if you have any other questions, you know how to reach me.
I can reach out to you. All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
All
You
right.
remember me then. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room.